Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the American University in Cairo's 5th Annual Benefit Dinner. My name is Meg Terrell, and it's my privilege to be here with you all this evening. I was introduced to AUC through my father, David Terrell, who for the past 6 years has served as a trustee and has been captivated by the legacy and mission of AUC. Although he couldn't be here because of his teaching commitments at Caltech, I know he would be proud to see so many fellow supporters and believers in this exceptional institution. Tonight, we will celebrate Trailblazers in global business, and we're pleased to recognize 4 distinguished honorees whose lives and work have demonstrated outstanding responsible leadership and social impact. But first, I want to recognize 3 important members of the AUC family whose tremendous leadership helped bring this evening together. At this time, may I ask the Benefit Dinner Committee members Carrie Bartlett, Barbara Thomason, and Susie Waba to please stand for a round of applause. I also want to thank tonight's anonymous underwriter, whose generous support was instrumental to this evening's success. Thank you. And many thanks as well to our founder-level sponsors, Commercial International Bank, CIB, Dr. Atef and Mrs. Fofa El-Touki, and Mr. Abdallah Jum'ah. And finally, a special thanks to this evening's silent auction sponsors, Abercrombie & Kent and Egypt Air.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming to our 5th Annual Benefit Dinner. My name is Richard Bartlett, and I have the pleasure of serving as Chairman of the Board of the American University in Cairo. Among the many distinguished guests we have here tonight, I'd like to especially welcome Ambassador and Mrs. Amr Abdullah, Permanent Representative of Egypt to the United Nations. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. I'm also delighted that we have in the room several former AUC presidents and their spouses. Tom and Molly Bartlett, David and Sherry Arnold, and Lisa Anderson all join us tonight, as does Gail Gerhardt, wife of former President John Gerhardt, and Amira Toran, the daughter of former President Chris Toran. On behalf of all those who love AUC, thank you for your past leadership. And tonight may be the only occasion during his presidency that I have the opportunity to publicly thank Tom Thomason, who is so ably serving as interim president of AUC. Tom has served as a trustee since 1993, and his wife Barbara has been an active fundraiser for the university. They moved back to Cairo in January, and since then, Tom and Barbara have thrown themselves wholeheartedly into the lives of the university. We're incredibly fortunate that someone with Tom's familiarity of the university and his enthusiasm for its role was prepared to take the job. Join me in a round of applause for Tom and Barbara. And now, speaking of presidents, I have a very exciting announcement to make. As many of you know, for the last 8 months, a search committee led by trustees Farhad Kazemi and David Terrell, better known as Meg's father, have conducted an international search for the next president of AUC. Last week, the board unanimously voted on the appointment of a new president. AUC's new president is no stranger to Egypt, or to AUC, or to many in this room. He has enjoyed an extremely distinguished career as a diplomat in the Middle East and Asia, with 2 posts in Egypt, most notably as the U.S. ambassador to Egypt from 2005 to 2008. He currently serves as vice president and director of the Rafiq Hariri Center at the Atlantic Council. Throughout the search process, he impressed everyone with his deep affection for Egypt and his genuine enthusiasm for AUC's mission. I am pleased to announce that the 12th president of the American University in Cairo is President-elect Francis J. Ricciardone. Just a second, folks. Frank is married to Dr. Marie Ricciardone, a molecular biologist at the National Cancer Institute who oversees health partnerships in the Middle East, a role, inshallah, she will continue after the Ricciardones move back to Cairo. We're so pleased that Frank and Marie are with us tonight, and I would ask them to stand and ask you to join me in giving them another round of applause. So by the way, Frank and Marie have two daughters, one of whom earned her master's degree from AUC and married an AUC classmate. So I think that means that Frank will be the first AUC president who is a parent and parent-in-law of an alum. And I've just been trying to imagine when Frank meets with the Parents Association and tells them that he was once one of them. Or imagine further Frank conducting that meeting in either English, Arabic, Turkish, French, or Italian, each of which he speaks. I think Frank will be very good at this job. So thank you. And now let me turn to other exciting components of the evening, in particular tonight's program and our distinguished honorees. Every year, AUC's Benefit Dinner brings together alumni and friends who believe in AUC's mission, and it allows us to raise money for life-changing scholarships for AUC students. This year's dinner is an especially successful event because of an anonymous donor who has contributed $100,000 to underwrite the event. The donor, who wishes to remain anonymous, has been a supporter of AUC for more than 25 years. So as we enjoy this wonderful dinner and evening together, let's give a round of applause to AUC's great friend for this unheralded generosity. Our theme for this evening is Trailblazers in Global Business, Responsible Leadership and Social Impact. Since AUC was founded in 1919, its outlook has been international and its education has encouraged social responsibility. In a commencement address in 1925, our founder, Charles Watson, said, "Our education is directed not merely to the student's head and intellect, but also to his heart and moral character." Tonight, nearly a century later, we celebrate four shining examples of that vision: global business leaders and entrepreneurs whose work embodies the moral character that Watson described. They are the best ambassadors for the liberal arts education that AUC champions. Our first honoree is Abdallah Jum'ah, the distinguished former president and CEO of the Saudi Arabian Oil Company, the largest energy provider in the world.
Abdullah's success at Saudi Aramco illustrates the particular kind of leadership that a political scientist can bring to an oil company. He left a strong legacy of developing leaders and of responsible business innovation. He created huge training and mentoring programs that prepared thousands of Saudis to work at the company. He adopted the workplace motto, "Unleash the Genie," to create an environment that fostered imagination. He focused the company globally, developing partnerships and joint ventures around the world. And he wrestled thoughtfully with the environmental responsibility of an extractive industry operating in sensitive environments. Abdullah's management of the many complex issues facing Saudi Aramco reflects an analytical and broad-minded approach that is the very hallmark of a liberal arts education. We're extremely fortunate that Abdallah has remained involved and enthusiastic about the university over the years. He served as a trustee for 11 years and has been an extremely generous financial supporter as well. The breadth of his support reflects the breadth of his outlook. He, for example, has donated a room in AUC's important rare books library. In addition, he most recently established the Abdallah Jum'ah Study Abroad Scholarship, allowing AUC students to spend a semester abroad, and we're pleased to have the first two recipients of that here tonight. Abdallah is part of a long tradition of Arab philanthropists whose support AUC is proud to have, and in recognition of that tradition, AUC has spearheaded an initiative, the first of its kind, to produce a book to be published later this year that records the stories of philanthropic families in the Arab world. AUC trustee Dr. Atef El-Touki has graciously funded this project, and not surprisingly, the book will include our generous honoree, Abdallah Jum'ah. Abdullah's ability to lead, to mentor, and to motivate people throughout his career explains why so many of you are here tonight. Your response to our decision to honor him has been truly overwhelming. The room is pretty full. We have already raised far more money than we have ever raised at any of our previous benefits, though we don't know yet what the full final number will be. But so now, Abdallah, on behalf of AUC and all your many admirers in this room, I would like to thank you for your global leadership and ask you to join me on the stage to receive AUC's Global Impact Award.
Thank you, trustees, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow alumni of the American University in Cairo. It's certainly a tremendous pleasure to be with you here tonight and to be honored as a trailblazer in global business. However, I'm even more taken with the other element of tonight's theme, which is responsible leadership and social impact. I strongly believe business has the potential to achieve tremendous good or wreak considerable harm, depending on the ways in which it's conducted and the objectives it pursues. So for me, responsible leadership and social impact is more than an interesting tagline. It's the mission of anyone entrusted with a position of leadership and a reminder that the impact of business goes well beyond the bottom line. No one questions whether or not business can make a difference. Macroeconomic factors shape entire nations and societies, can open or close opportunities for whole communities, and help to determine the living standards today as well as the trajectories of future generations. Then there is the complex interplay between the economy and the environment, and the need to achieve both the benefits of economic growth and the sound stewardship of our natural ecosystem, a quest for balance that occupied a good deal of my time as the head of Saudi Aramco. At a more immediate level, the lives of individuals and families are intertwined with the fate of companies large and small, from multinational corporations to mom and pop dry cleaners and family-owned farms. Our ability to put food on the table and a roof over our heads, to keep our families safe and secure, to educate our children, and to pursue our personal and professional aspirations is bound for the overwhelming majority of us to our occupations and jobs. Therefore, leadership in a company carries with it not only a responsibility to the enterprise and its shareholders or to the customers which it serves. Instead, leaders also have a responsibility to their staff, to the communities in which they operate, and to the natural environment that sustains us all. As a result, having well-prepared leaders is critical, and that means well-educated leaders. Businessmen and women must rely on technical skills and knowledge in fields from accounting and finance to specializations like engineering, logistics, manufacturing, or R&D. In addition, they must possess the ability to lead, to align and inspire people while building systems, processes, organizations, and institutional cultures that can both stand the test of time and adapt to changing circumstances. But responsibility and social impact also mandate that we have well-rounded leaders, not just those with technocratic skills or business acumen. For me, this is where the social sciences and liberal arts come to the fore, and where the value of my own AUC education manifested itself. In my experience, effective leaders have the so-called soft skills that provide broader perspective on the ultimate impact of business, and which free them from a narrow focus on granular technicalities. The whole point of leadership, in fact, is to go beyond the status quo details of today and to guide an organization and its people into more prosperous and more promising areas of endeavor and activity. That's why I have argued many times and before many audiences that harnessing the power of innovation and ingenuity requires a depth of intellect, an agility of thought, a capacity for analysis and synthesis, and an ability to communicate that are best derived from the humanities and the liberal arts. I first discovered those tools at AUC. Over my career, I became more adept in their use, more focused in their deployment, and I hope more effective in leveraging them to achieve positive change. But my introduction to the unlimited power of thought, the immense impact of fresh ideas, and the tangible and intangible benefits of connecting the dots between seemingly unrelated topics came at the American University in Cairo. So, in a very real sense, being named an AUC Trailblazer of Global Business is an endorsement of the university and testament to the faculty and staff with whom I had the privilege to study and learn. Of course, everyone here tonight is demonstrating responsible leadership and social impact through their generosity to the American University in Cairo, and by helping to open educational opportunities for a new generation of young people. I am confident that the men and women who will benefit from your philanthropy will be touched by their AUC experiences to the same extent that I was, and that their education in and out of the classroom will prepare them to make a meaningful difference in the world around them. As such, you are extending the beneficial chain of responsible leadership and social impact far into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this honor, and thank you for your attention this evening.
All right, having lived in Egypt from 1994 to 2014, Mr. Thomason served as a senior regional executive for the engineering and construction firm Bechtel, general manager for the CD Career Power Plant, and most recently as chief executive officer for the Egyptian Refining Company. He served for many years on the boards of the American Chamber of Commerce in Egypt and the Binational Fulbright Commission in Egypt. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to AUC President Ad Interim Thomas E. Thomason.
Thank you, Meg. When you mentioned the University of Texas, when I went to the University of Texas, it was $50 a semester tuition. And that gives you an idea how long ago it was. And some of my friends said, well, it was worth every penny you paid. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honorees, Abdallah, distinguished guests. Barbara and I have been back in Cairo for 7 weeks. And we have been drinking from the academic fire hose. Incredible experience. Being on the board for almost 20 years, you were flying over about 26,000 feet over AUC. And now, as my friend Sadiq says, I'm in the kitchen. And it's quite a new experience. I think the only people that can really fully appreciate that are probably Tom Bartlett, David Arnold, and Lisa Anderson, who were there before. But this has been a fascinating 7 weeks for Barbara and me, and it was an opportunity for us to really get involved in the university at a very basic level. And we've had the opportunity now to meet hundreds of people, maybe even more than hundreds of people. We've had probably 6 dinners at Watson House. A couple of days ago, we had 200 people for lunch. It's been a fascinating experience for us. But what it has done is that has given us an opportunity to really understand and appreciate the exceptional contributions that AUC is making, not only to our students, but their families, and outside the bounds of the university, with the Egyptian government. We have people that are working very closely in the education initiatives that President Sisi's undertaken. So we're really, AUC is a player, and it's been an incredible experience for us to really see firsthand how that's been working and the contribution that AUC is making. All of us at AUC, and I think all of you in the audience, realize that there are great challenges beyond the gates of our campus. We in Cairo, we feel the eagerness for job creation among the youth who are drivers of development. We see the lack of support for mid-sized entrepreneurs and small businesses to get economic support to be able to borrow money. And we recognize that entrepreneurship and innovation really are some of the keys to growth and prosperity in a free market system. And as Abdallah eloquently shared tonight, responsible leadership and social impact must accompany development in order for societies to actively thrive and remain competitive. And you have to achieve the balances between economic growth and development and the environment. And Abdallah very articulately described that. And our students, their lives are inseparable from the challenges facing our region. And they understand that education that they receive at AUC gives them a responsibility to their community and their country and to the world. In 2013, through the university's Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, AUC launched the Venture Lab, or we call it the V Lab, which is an incubator for Egyptian startups. Young entrepreneurs compete in a rigorous selection process by demonstrating their ideas' novelty, the ability to scale it up to a commercial size, and the market potential, and also their own tenacity and their commitment to success. The V Lab provides a supportive environment for entrepreneurs to accelerate their ideas, to become companies that contribute to Egypt's economic growth and job creation. Through AUC, the participants gain access to AUC's intellectual capital, our facilities and networks, and they receive mentorship from industry experts and investors. AUC's V Lab fosters a thriving ecosystem for innovation, education, and responsible business. Tonight, AUC recognizes the leaders behind 2 such startups, and we honor these companies for their outstanding achievements to transform their ideas into sustainable solutions for Egyptians. The first is KarmSolar, whose award-winning high-capacity solar pumping stations quickly made the company Egypt's largest private off-grid solar integrator. We have relatively little solar energy in Egypt, so that makes, I think, this startup even more important in the whole power scheme here in Egypt. And starting as a team of 4, KarmSolar has grown into a company of more than 40 employees and expanded to include KarmBuild, a subsidiary company which designs and constructs entirely self-sufficient solar-powered buildings. KarmSolar aims to both commercialize sustainability and protect the environment by delivering alternative energy to agricultural, industrial, tourism, and business sectors. Last year, KarmSolar was awarded a contract for $2.5 million for a solar power station, as well as an agreement to fund 1.5 million acre irrigation project. The second startup whose achievements we recognize tonight is Madad. Incubated at AUC's V-Lab in 2014, Madad empowers everyday Egyptians to become stakeholders in under-resourced local NGO projects. Traditionally, the only methods for Egyptian NGOs to fundraise are expensive ads or complex proposals to international grant providers. Through Madad's website, users can donate online, track a project, and see the impact of their support through photos and videos. Madad utilizes technology to improve transparency and accountability essential to long-term sustainable development. Recent funded projects include operations for child burn victims and alternative energy installations for rural communities. Madad has already raised more than 200,000 Egyptian pounds for NGO projects in Egypt. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present this year's Distinguished Alumni Awards to Ahmed Zahran and Yumna Madi, co-founders of KarmSolar, and Heba Bahgat, co-founder of Madad. Please welcome them to the stage.
You want to hold it? Hold that one. I'll hold it. Well done.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm humbled to be here tonight to speak on behalf of Ahmed and Heba, to thank you for this tremendous honor. It's with great pleasure for us to be here to participate with AUC, an institution that has helped us so much. AUC is truly a unique place, no matter your background, gender, or race. Each student is given the opportunity to realize their full potential, to think deeply about how they can affect change and become responsible leaders. Today, AUC's V-Lab provides a critical platform for a generation that is eager to develop their ideas to contribute to the region. For me, I've always been proud of being an AUC alumni. However, it took me a few years to distill just how much AUC has helped me and helped to shape my future. It prepared me for my master's program at the Johns Hopkins University. The soft skills that I acquired allowed me to excel and do well, including the way I approach ideas critically, developing a global perspective, and something that I've developed is something that serves me well to this very moment, being comfortable with public speaking. Well, sort of. So anyways, after I received my graduate degree from Johns Hopkins, I wanted to return back to Egypt to apply the skills and the knowledge that I acquired into something meaningful. Through my AUC network, I was very lucky to meet two amazing people that later became my co-founders at KarmSolar. Our collective experience from AUC brought us together in Egypt, where we knew we had a responsibility. I am truly proud to be standing here today with Heba and Ahmed, showing the power of AUC in developing entrepreneurs, game changers, and thoughtful leaders. We're here, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's evening is to raise scholarship funds for students that otherwise would not be able to study at AUC. Let me tell you from my experience that having scholarship students on campus adds diversity to the university and truly enriches the experience and the culture. Your support here tonight will enable AUC to cultivate talents from different backgrounds, providing them with the knowledge and the tools to come up with the next great idea that will transform the region. Thank you again for this honor. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the second Abdallah Jum'ah Study Abroad Scholarship student, Saif Hamid. Thank you so much.
Okay, these slides are stronger than I thought it would be. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to be here tonight. My name is Saif Hamid, and I'm a third-year student majoring in business administration at AUC. I'm deeply humbled to have been selected for the Abdallah Jum'ah Study Abroad Scholarship that allowed me to study at SUNY New Paltz this semester. Tonight, I want to speak about how AUC is a unique place of experience, a place of opportunity, if I may say, through the story of my classmate, Maryam. Maryam is originally from Romania, a small town in Egypt. She attended a public high school that was taught only in Arabic. Despite the challenges she faced, she scored incredibly well on her high school diploma and was awarded a full scholarship to study at AUC. Today, she stands out among AUC students in many ways. She is active in campus life and leads many student clubs and community service projects. Even on an academic level, she is incredible. I remember in one math class we took together, when all the students struggled to find a solution for a complicated equation, Maryam would be the first to find the answer. Through AUC, Maryam gained new experiences that changed her life. And I think if she were here tonight, she would have loved to thank you all for her scholarship. Maryam is a source of inspiration for me. And just like her, I was given an opportunity to expand my horizons through a scholarship to study abroad in the United States. In fact, before joining AUC, I hesitated whether I want to join AUC or study abroad. But during my freshman year, I realized that the opportunities that AUC offered were not to be found elsewhere. From the supportive administration, the inspiring professors, to the extracurricular activities like my own favorite, the award-winning Model United Nations program. And the study abroad, these have all allowed me to think more critically and shaped who I am today. And the study abroad opportunity does nothing but add to this rich and versatile experience. AUC is preparing future leaders who understand the world beyond their own. We know what it means to compete on local and international scales. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's event is a perfect occasion to participate in creating more scholarships and therefore more opportunities for students at AUC. In closing, I want to extend my sincere appreciation to Mr. Abdallah Jum'ah. And finally, although they're not here tonight, I would like to thank my parents for their unconditional love and support. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have the great fortune of being joined by an AUC student who is currently attending Stony Brook University, thanks to the Abdallah Jum'ah Study Abroad Scholarship at AUC. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Ola Hussein.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ola Hussein, and I'm a fourth-year student majoring in petroleum engineering at AUC, thanks to the Abdallah Jum'ah Study Abroad Scholarship. I'm currently spending a semester at Stony Brook University here in New York. Although I have only been here for a short time, I have never felt more confident, independent, and self-aware. Before arriving to the United States, I had my concerns. As an Arab Muslim woman, I was worried that I would not feel welcome. But my experience proved that these presumptions are not entirely true. My professors, classmates, and friends have always shown me respect and made me feel included. I am part of a society that includes people of different cultures, backgrounds, and lifestyles, and I have learned so much from being with them. I'm grateful to have this experience and exposure as it's preparing me to an international career in petroleum engineering. On the other hand, My experience here has allowed me to share more about Egypt with my peers and other Americans. People have been curious about how my house and university look like back home and what modes of transportation we use. I have also been asked if Egyptians use social media, and believe it or not, whether I knew about Facebook and Twitter. As much as I have learned more about others, this opportunity has allowed me to update people that, since the pyramids, life in Egypt has evolved. Despite our presumptions and differences, I have learned that there is one thing that Egypt and the US have in common: the very low ratio of female to male engineering students. It is an issue that both countries need to improve. Through my time here in the United States, I have learned that the value of studying abroad goes beyond the individual student. These opportunities provide the link that connects people and ideas and fosters greater understanding. Studying abroad during my time at AUC has given me what I could not gain from a book or a classroom. In closing, I want to share that my experience has allowed me to more fully understand who I am and how I can use my education and talents to serve the world. I would like to thank AUC for partnering with institutions around the globe and to inspire more students to write their own stories just like I did. I would also like to thank everyone here tonight for providing such opportunities to more AUC students. And most importantly, I want to personally thank Mr. Abdallah Jum'ah for giving me this opportunity of a lifetime. Without your scholarship, none of this would have been possible. Thank you.